Good morning, students. I hope that you feel well today.
Good
We are
morning,
going
sir.
Okay, morning to you. Well, today we are going to start a new chapter. What I want you just to open your lecture and follow, please.
أستاذ بس من رخصتك قبل
Yes,
لا
please.
تبدي. I
Yes,
have some questions about the previous chapter, the exercises.
yes, please tell me.
Yes, in exercise 2, page 3.
Exercise 2, page 3. Yeah, what's wrong with this?
The sentences which are A, B, C.
The sentences A, B, C. Yes.
Yes. The first one, I cannot remember. I chose where I left.
The first sentence you mean?
Yes.
I
I
cannot
cannot.
remember. Where
I
did yes, where I left. Yes. What's wrong with this sentence, please? What's
did,
wrong?
did it correct or wrong?
No, wrong. You know why? Because this is an indirect question. It is basically a question. Okay, when you have this construction, this sentence tends to be what, just like affirmative sentence, but the arrangement of the words will be different. Instead of having the construction of the question, it will be affirmative sentence. So the answer will be, I cannot remember where I left my coat. Got the point now, Fatima, or not? Just tell me.
Yes. I chose it.
Why? Why? You know why? Because this is basically a question. The question is, where did I leave my coat? But
Yes.
here, since we have what? Since we have a complex sentence, this question will be, considered as indirect. And this is one of the types that I mentioned in the lectures, if you remember.
Yes.
Got the point now? So here we have to change the construction from the question to be an affirmative sentence. But the question will be, in the meaning, not in the construction. Got the point now? Now, here the sentence, carries the meaning of a question, but in what? In affirmative construction. And that's why the sentence ends with what? Full stop. Got the point now, Fatima, or not? Just tell me.
اي دكتورة اي شكرا جزيلا انا اختارتها وراي ليفت بس ما عرفت ليش انا اختارت هاي فردت اعرف انه هاي ليش الثانية خطأ.
The reason the construction is different, we change the construction from a question to what? To indirect question. That is just like the indirect speech.
Yes.
Got the point now?
Yes, thank you so much.
Any other question in relation to chapter 1? Okay. Now we are going
exercises كلن داخله.
Yes, Abdullah. Yes. The exercises are all required in the final exam and in the monthly exam, and especially in the final exam. You have to consider in the final exam we are going to have a variety of questions. You got the point now? And that's why it's okay just to select certain questions in the monthly exam. Maybe I am going to select, okay? But in the final examination, all the exercises are required. Later on, when we are going to decide the time for the monthly exam, I'm going to select some exercises. If you feel that it is too much, you cannot do it in the monthly exam, we are going to decide certain exercises to be included in the monthly exam. Is it okay now, Abdullah, or not? Just tell me.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So totally when we talk about the exercises, They are all important and they are all included in the final exam. Yes. Any other question?
Yes.
Yes, Tabarak. Yes, tell me.
About the example or the exercise which have 100 points.
Yes, you have
Yes,
to
you
know
want.
that this Tabarak, let me tell you. This exercise
Yes.
is optional. You know, optional, it's up to
Yes, I
you.
know, but
Yeah.
it's
Here, if
all
you,
of them or just 10?
no, all of them, all the 100 sentences. This is one. Second, when you want just to answer it, you can send it to my academic Gmail, because I didn't specify an assignment for that. But this will be done individually. If you are able to do it, send it as an attached file to my Gmail. You know, the Gmail that we use here in the classroom. Got the point now?
Yes, yes.
You
Yes.
can do it, but it is not enough just to answer it. We are going to decide time out of the time of the lecture to discuss it. We are going to decide another time, and it will be optional to attend, and it is optional to discuss. Got the point now, Tabarak, or not?
Yes, yes.
For example,
Except
we
your
are going
email.
to decide a time on Thursday. On Thursday, you don't have lectures, okay? You don't have lectures, so it will be optional time, and it will be a time devoted for the discussion of this exercise. So it is not enough. If you want just to take the 10 marks, it is what? It is required to answer this exercise and to discuss it. Suppose that I'm going to choose certain sentences, and I'm going to ask you, why do you have this answer?
Excuse me, all the sentence have a mistake in the form or not?
You are going to tell me why. This is your responsibility. I'm not going to tell you, because if I'm going to tell you, I'm going to answer the exercise.
Okay.
Yes, this is your responsibility. Once you are going to discover that, you are going to tell me. You are
Yes,
going
I read them, but
I'm waiting the
some
answer
sentence
from
I
you.
noticed.
Yeah. Well, it's up to you, because that's why I'm going to have a discussion. So it's not only just to give me the answer. I'm going to ask you, why do you have this answer? Clear now?
Clear.
Yes. Now we are going to start our lecture, and I'm going to try with presenting the lecture in this way. There is something just to share. I'm going to share the entire screen of my laptop, and I don't know whether it will be okay for you just to see the lecture in this way or not. I'm going to check now, because I'm going to open the lecture in my laptop. Is it okay? Is it visible? Can you see the lecture? Can you see the lecture now?
No.
Well, it's okay now. The lecture is downloaded, and you can open it now to follow me. So what I want you all to open the lecture and follow me. Now, chapter 2, the paragraph. What is a paragraph? A paragraph is a group of sentences that fleshes out a single idea. What's meant by fleshes out? Represents. A paragraph is a group of sentences that fleshes out a single idea. If I say a group of sentences, what does it mean? It is a larger unit. First, we started with a sentence. Now we have a larger unit of a sentence. That is what? That is a paragraph. So what do we have? We have a group of sentences. In other words, it is a collection of related sentences. So these sentences are not scattered. They are not disconnected. They are related, and this is very important. It is a collection of related sentences dealing with a single topic. So what do we have here? We have a topic. Morphologically speaking, what does it mean? The origin of the word, from where we have paragraph. Paragraph, it means writing beyond the sentence level. Why? If we look at this word, paragraph, it is of two morphemes. Para means beyond. Graph means writing. So what does this mean? It means writing beyond the sentence level. This is morphologically speaking. If somebody is asking you from where we got paragraph, paragraph, para, beyond, means beyond as a morpheme, okay? Beyond the sentence level. So what do we have here? Something beyond the sentence. It is not only one sentence. We have what is mentioned and what is later to be mentioned. I mean that we have a previous sentence and next sentence. So in this case, what do we have? We have something beyond the sentence level. That is what? A context level. So here, this is the meaning, or this is the definition of a paragraph. The purpose of a paragraph, okay, why do we have a paragraph? Is to express a speaker's thoughts on a particular point in a clear way that is unique and specific to that paragraph. What does this mean? It means that this unit is specific to one idea. So we don't have different ideas in one paragraph. We have to be specific to the idea that we are going to discuss in this paragraph. In other words, paragraph shouldn't be mixing thoughts or idea, and this is very important. We should include only one idea in a single paragraph. When a new idea is introduced, generally, a writer will introduce a new paragraph. If we have a new idea, it means that we have a new paragraph. So it will be two paragraphs, not one. Up to this point, any question? Any question, please?
No.
Can you repeat it quickly, please?
Yes. Here we are talking about the meaning of a paragraph and the purpose of a paragraph. What is a paragraph? A paragraph is a group of sentences. So we don't have only one sentence. That it fleshes out a single idea. That is what it represents, one idea. So a single paragraph means a single idea. In other words, it is a collection of related sentences. So these sentences, these group of sentences, okay, they are what? They are related, dealing with one single topic. Then what is the purpose of this? The purpose is to express the idea in a particular way. That is, the paragraph should be specific to one idea, and this idea should not be mixed with other ideas. If we have other ideas, it means that we have different paragraphs.
Okay.
Now, there is another question. This is the definition. Okay. What is the components what are the elements of the paragraph? And that's why we have basic paragraph structure. Why to say structure? It means that we are going to have a building. We are going to build something. That is the paragraph. How can we build a paragraph? What are the elements of a paragraph? You remember when we discuss a sentence, we have elements. We said that subject and predicate. But what are the elements of a paragraph? Number one, a topic sentence. This is the basic element in a paragraph. If somebody is asking, what do we have inside a paragraph? What are the elements of paragraph? Number one, a topic sentence. So what is a topic sentence? A topic sentence carries the controlling idea of a paragraph. So here, the topic sentence, it carries the idea that we are going to discuss in the paragraph. A good topic sentence will be broad enough to allow for explanation, but narrow enough that it does not require a paragraph that is too long. Okay, let us explain this. What does this mean? It means that we have to select the sentence that we are going to say that this is a topic sentence. Here, we are going to have a question. Are all sentences can be considered as a topic sentence? The answer will be no. We are going to have an example, and we are going to discuss this example, and we are going to see. Compare between the following examples. So we have two sentences. The first sentence, I study English. If we look at this sentence tells everything, and that's it. We cannot continue with other sentences. I study English. Okay, it tells me everything. I cannot expand this sentence. I cannot add another sentence. It closes all the information that is given in this sentence. But if we compare this sentence with the other, there are many reasons that tell why I study English. Now, if you consider this sentence, we are going to say that this is a topic sentence. Why? Because this sentence introduces something, but it does not tell everything. Because somebody will ask, what are these reasons? How many of these reasons? Still, we have other questions to be answered in other sentences. So if you consider now, this sentence is suitable to be a topic sentence, and it will be the starting point to write a paragraph. But if we consider the first sentence, it will not be. I cannot expand this sentence because it tells everything. And that's why we are going to say broad and narrow. What does it mean? A broad, it means that it gives some hints to be answered, some question to be answered in other sentences. And it is not narrow in the way that it tells everything, and it closes the information that is to be given. Clear up to this point? Any question? No question?
No.
Okay. So here, what I want you to be careful how to select the topic sentence. So not all sentences can be topic. The sentence should have what? Conditions. It is not that is too narrow and too broad. It gives an idea, but it doesn't mean that it gives all the information that the writer wants us to tell. Okay, so that's all about topic sentence. Now, what are the other elements? What do we have? Supporting sentences. When I say the word support, what does it mean? The sentences that help the topic sentence. First of all, the supporting sentences, the sentences that are coming after the topic sentence. This is one. The supporting sentences of a paragraph are those which come after the topic sentence. This is one. The supporting sentences support or help the topic sentence. That is, they explain and elaborate the point of the paragraph. Is that okay? Any question about this? No. So here, what do we have inside a paragraph? We have a topic sentence and we have supporting sentence. Maybe some will ask, how many sentences that we have? This is up to you as a writer. We are not going to limit how many sentences. Why? Because here it depends on the idea. Once you are going to satisfy your idea, it will be okay. But this does not mean that it will be open. You have to consider that any irrelevant information will make the paragraph, faulty. Why? Because you are going to move to another idea, and this is wrong. We have to have a specific explanation to a specific idea. Up to this point, any question? No question. Let us move to another point. Conditions of a good paragraph writing. Okay. Now, the question now, what are the conditions to make my paragraph is good, or it is acceptable, or it is understood by readers? The first point, that is unity or coherence. Okay. What's meant by unity and what's meant by coherence? Here, the sentences in the paragraph should fit together. And this is very important. What does this mean? When I'm going to write sentences, these sentences should be related to each other. They are what? They are fit to each other, and they are considered as a unit. They are not disconnected sentences. And that's why here, when we are going to have these sentences, it means that we are going to build a unit. They should be related to one another, aiming to develop the topic sentence. And this is very important. Here, once I'm going to write the topic sentence, I have to have another point. How can I develop it? And this word is a key word here. Developing the topic sentence. If I want just to develop here, it means that I'm not going to include something which is irrelevant. I have to choose the sentences that add something which is not to be clear in the topic sentence. Irrelevant sentences should not be used. And this is meant by unity and coherence. Here, with unity, it means that we have relatedness. That is, the sentences are related to one another. With coherence, here we are having logical arrangement of sentences. One is following the other. They are not something which is not related in the meaning. This is the idea. Any question about the first condition? No. We have the second.
Excuse me.
Yes, please. Yes.
Can you repeat the difference between coherence and unity?
Yes, yes. With unity, we mean that the sentences that are written in the paragraph will be what? Unified and related. With coherence, we have logical arrangements. Here, if you remember last lecture, one student has, let me say, a problem with what to put first, this one or that one, if you remember. Okay, so the parts of the paragraph should be arranged logically, and later we are going to discuss it when we have an example. I mean, a paragraph. Clear now?
Excuse me, you mean
we have relatedness. Simply speaking, unity, relatedness, coherence, logical arrangement. That's it. Now,
okay, we got it.
Yes, the second point, adequate development. What does this mean? In order for a paragraph to be considered adequate, adequate, sufficient, enough for the reader, the paragraph should be well developed. The reader should not be left wanting more information, and this is very, very important. If I want just to satisfy my idea, I wouldn't like just to have something to be unclear. I wouldn't write something which is vague or ambiguous. I have to satisfy the idea. I have to make the idea clear for the reader. If I have something to be left, it means that my paragraph has no complete meaning. There is something to be left. Here, what I want you just to think as writers, how to satisfy your readers, how to make them, once they read the piece that you are going to write, they feel interested. Now, sometimes when you consider yourself as a reader, not as a writer, you are going to have a judgment, judgment. You are going to evaluate. This is a good piece of writing. This is, well, this is not understood. This is not clear. In which base you are going to evaluate? On the sufficiency of the information to be given. This is the idea. So you have to consider that once you are going to be sufficient, it will be okay. It means that you develop your paragraph the way that the reader will not ask something, or you are not going to leave a question. So this is point number 2. Any question? No. We move to the third point. And this is a technical and something which is related basically to grammar. Transitions and cohesion. Now you see, now you have two words. We have cohesion and we have coherence. And you have to make a difference between the two. Let us see what's meant by cohesion. Good paragraphs have transitions between preceding and proceeding. Preceding and proceeding, what is coming before and what is coming after. This is what's meant by preceding and proceeding. These transitions are logical and verbal. So what do we have? We have two types. Logical, what does it mean? Here we have sequence in relation to meaning. That is what logical. Which comes first, and then, and then, and then. This is what we call logical arrangement. Verbal, what's meant by verbal? Verbal by using conjunctions. And this is very important. And this is something related to grammar. What are the conjunctions that you are going to use which suits the paragraph that you are going to write? And it will be grammatically correct. This is the idea. Clear or not? Just tell me.
What does mean cohesion?
Cohesion means the way that you are going to join the sentences that you have. Got the point now? This is the idea. That is what the verbal way of joining the sentences inside the paragraph. This is what's meant by cohesion. The way that you join. This is the idea. One sentence should logically flow to the next. Flow? It means it comes in the way that is fitting the other sentence. They are connected. They are related. The idea in a body of work should be organized so each sentence leads to the next. And this is very important. Here, if we consider this point, we are going to have the logical arrangement. Now we move to the verbal transition. So we have logical transition, that is the logical arrangement, and then verbal transitions, that is can be manifested, it means clarified, by the use of cohesive devices. Cohesive devices, namely the conjunctions to tie the sentences of a paragraph. Got the point now of verbal transitions? Clear or not? Just tell me. Okay.
No, please.
Okay. Let me repeat. Let me repeat it. Verbal transitions, that is using conjunctions to join sentences. Conjunctions just like when, while, before, after. These are the conjunctions that I mean. Got the point now? Because since these are the way that you are going to move from one part to another. This is the idea. Now, when we say, while I was reading, the bell rang or the phone rang, what do we have here? We have a transition from one part to another by the use of what? While. This is the idea. Clear or not? Just tell me.
Clear, clear.
Okay. Now, the fourth condition, the length of a paragraph. The length. You know the length? What does it mean? It means how much that I'm going to write. How many sentences, how many words that I'm going to have. Although it is left to the writer. Why to say it is left to the writer? Because it is you to decide how can you satisfy the paragraph that you are going to write. I mean, the topic, sentence that you are going to introduce, the idea that you are going to introduce. So it is left to you. But here, when we say a good paragraph should not exceed 100 words. Should not exceed. You know, exceed? It should not be more than 100 words. This is the idea. So here, this is the condition when you are going to write a paragraph. It will not be too long. In this case, you are not going to write a paragraph. It will be an essay. So you have to know that you are writing a paragraph, something specific about one idea. Up to this point, any question about these conditions? So these conditions that you have to follow. These conditions are very important and you have to consider them when you are going to write. Unity, coherence, adequate development, transitions and cohesions, all these, and the length of a paragraph. What does this mean? It means that once I'm going to ask you in the exam to write a paragraph, you have to write between two brackets how many words that you have. You have to count them, and then you are going to say 90 words, 80 words. Got the point now? This is the idea. And if you consider the précis, you know précis in comprehension. Précis is a paragraph writing. You remember précis? Précis.
Yes.
We talked in the first paragraph. Because it is limited in the let me say the number of words that you have, and that's why we are going to limit it in not more than in the exam. I'm going to say in not more than 100 words. Write a paragraph.
Yes, Doctor, I have a question.
Yes, please. Yeah, tell me.
Yes, outside the material or the explanation that you explain right
now. Yeah.
So my question is, there is a differentiate between the book and the file that you said it to us, or the file that we studying right now. So which one we follow it, the file or the book?
It is not. Let me tell you, it is not a difference. It is something expanded. You know why? Because here the book is not explaining these things in detail. And by the way, these things are not new to you because you already took them in the first year and second year. And here I want you just to remember them in this way. And you have to follow them, because here these things, we are not going to have it in the exam, because what we need is something practical. That is what, when you write a paragraph, you have to follow these things, because I'm not going to ask you in the exam what is a transition, what is a verbal transition, all these things just to know. But of course, when you ask me what to follow, you follow them both, because the book has the exercises And so here we don't have a difference, but we have more elaboration. If you consider, just tell me what is the difference between this and what is found in the book. The book is giving something too little. If you consider
briefly,
very
yes.
brief, very brief.
Yeah.
And in this case, this will not help you, and that's why this lecture will help you more than what is found in the book.
Yes.
Right?
Good.
This is the idea. So
Okay,
when you
thank
say what is required, I said earlier, both are required. Both.
Yes, we have to follow both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Both of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor.
It's okay. Now we move to the types of a paragraph. The first type that we have, and the easiest one, narrative paragraph. Narrative paragraphs. What do you mean by this? And what do you mean by narrative? Narration is a storytelling writing. And this is very interesting. When you want just to tell a story, you are going to write a paragraph in the way that you are going to narrate this story. When you write a narrative paragraph, you write about events in the order they happen. This is very important. In the order they happen. Here we have sequence of events. Which events come first? What happened first? This is the idea. So when you write about events, these events should be arranged, and this is what we call here when we want just to have coherence here. When we are going to arrange, we arrange according to the events. Here you write about events in the order they happen. In other words, you use time order signals to organize your sentences. Okay, so time order will be followed. The narrative paragraph can be fun to write. What you say fun to write? It means interesting, because you tell a story or relate an event. And that's why you say that it is something interesting, because it's something related to you to create interest as a writer. Because here, when you are going to write, it's not just to tell a story. It's how to make this story interesting. It's just like when you are going to have a movie. Now, the movie is a story. But tell me, is that when we talk about movies, all movies are interesting? Of course not. So what does it mean? It means that the writer should be skillful enough to make interest to the storytelling. Clear now? Clear? Any question about this? Okay.
No.
No, Doctor.
Narratives have, you see now, narratives have beginning, middle, and end. What does it mean? We have the beginning of event, and we have the development of this event, and we have the end. What is the end? You know, sometimes when we say happy end, when we say, let me say sad end, just like this, okay? Because here we have this arrangement, and this is what we call logical arrangement of narration. We have beginning, we have development of this event, and then we have the end. Narrative paragraphs often describe events from the writer's life. This is related to you also. Here, of course, when you narrate something personal. You witness, you experience, just like this. So it is something mostly just to say that it is what? Personal. Why to say personal? Because you are going to be the narrator. You are going to be the narrator. And that's why we are going to say that this is something personal. But of course, this is not, let me say, a general rule. It means that you are free if you want just to narrate something which is happening to others. It's not only, limited to what happened to you only. This is the idea. So you are free. There is no restriction on this point. Now, this is, let me say, something what? This is something theoretical. Let us have an example which is a practical. Let us study this example, including all the points that we are discussing now. And of course, this example is found in the book. If you consider the example is taken from the book. Follow that bus. Okay, if you consider the title here, and I didn't mention this earlier, the paragraph may have a title, or the title is decided by others who are asking you to write a paragraph. So it is something optional. I'm not going to force you in the exam to have a title. In the exam, if you want just to write a paragraph, if there is a topic sentence or there is a title which is given already, so no need just to write a title. And it is left for you just to have the title for the paragraph. This is one. But the title, once it is written, it should be inclusive to the idea that you are going to develop. So it should be inclusive to the idea. Now, let us keep this title in our minds and let us see the details of the paragraph. Follow that bus. If we consider this, we are going to have questions. What's wrong with the bus? Who is going to follow? And we have, if you consider exclamation mark, so there is something unusual. So these are questions are coming in my mind once I read the title. Follow. So what does it mean? We have somebody who is running. When I say follow, somebody who is having something with the bus. So do we have something just like this in the paragraph? Let us see. I jumped off the bus before I stopped and began walking down the street. As I had arrived early, I decided to look at the shop windows before going home. The idea made me quite happy, but at the same time, I had the unpleasant feeling that I had forgotten something. I stopped in the middle of the pavement and began searching my pockets. All of a sudden, I remembered that I was without my briefcase. I had left it on the bus and it was full of important papers. The thought was enough to make me start running down the street, though by now the bus was out of sight. Now, we finish reading this paragraph. Let us see. Let us analyze the paragraph. Do we have a topic sentence? Yes. Where is it? It is at the beginning of the paragraph. I jumped off the bus before it stopped and began walking down the street. Here, this sentence is a topic sentence. Why? Because it introduces other questions. What does it mean? What happened then? So here, it doesn't give anything. It is introducing other events. This is one. Do we have supporting sentences? Yes, they are available here. And each sentence has its own function. So this is what we call the elements of sentence. What do we have? We have a topic sentence. And what do we have? We have supporting sentences. It's okay. Now let us examine the supporting sentences. Do we have unrelevant sentence? Just check. Do we have sentence which is not related to the event? Of course not. So what does it mean? It means that they are developing the topic sentence. Okay, what else? Let us consider, do we have logical arrangement of events? Yes, because events are coming one after the other. It's okay. Now, here are all the information to be left, adequate, sufficient? The answer is yes. Now, let us see the length of the paragraph. Is it too long? No. It is too short? No. So here, if we apply these conditions, we are going to find all the conditions available here in the paragraph. Any question about these things? Let us see the conjunctions. How many conjunctions do we have? We have as. Before that, we have and. We have before. We have, let me say, different ways to shift from one sentence to another.
We have but, yes.
Yes, so many, you see, a variety of conjunctions and a variety of sentences. Not all sentences are in the same type. We have simple sentence, we have compound sentence, we have complex sentence. All these things are found. Here, it doesn't mean that you have to put all these types. No, it depends on you. Once you feel that this sentence will be beneficial to useful to your paragraph, use it. It doesn't mean that you have all types of sentences. No, it depends on the idea. It's up to you, and it's up to the idea that you are going to choose to develop. So here, in this case, this practical, let me say, paragraph is telling you that this is the good way of writing. This is one. Second, if I ask you, do you feel interested when you read this paragraph? Do you feel that there is something, let me say, not arranged in the way that you cannot understand? Of course not, because now the idea is developed, is well developed, and it is sufficient to the reader to understand what is the beginning of the event and what is the end of the event. Now, if I want just to summarize, somebody, okay, hurried up, and then he walked down, and then in the development of the event, he forgot something, and he wants just to do something, but it's let me say, too late, because the bus went out of sight. So we have beginning, and we have development, and we have end. Let us see the evaluation of this, as we mentioned earlier. The topic sentence is broad enough to be developed. What does it mean, broad enough? It means that it is not too narrow to be what? To be having only limited information and cannot be, no, it introduces something and it needs other sentences to be written after. Coherence is clearly shown by the choice of related sentences that are linked to a single idea. The third point, all of the given information are adequate and there is nothing missed or left incomplete whereby the paragraph is fully developed. Cohesion is represented by the use of varied cohesive devices and conjunctions, and we saw the different, let me say, conjunctions that are used. Logical shift among the sentences, of course, because here the events are arranged in time, and we don't have, sudden shift from one sentence to another. Sequencing the events in the time they happen. Of course, we have the first event which comes first, and then till we have the end of the let me say event. Up to this point, any question? Any question? No question?
No.
Okay, with this, we finalize the lecture. But what is required, and this is very important, you know, I told you earlier that what I'm going to do is what is little, but what we do is more important. That is what it is you now to write a narrative paragraph. Of course, we are going to divide the types. Once we finish with the narrative paragraph, we move to the other type, and that's why I'm going to finalize the lecture with this type, because I want just to give you more opportunities just to write for narrative paragraphs only. So we start with the easiest one, because narrative paragraphs are easier just to be written. But here, for the assignment of the coming lecture, what do we have? We have on chapter 2, if you follow me, we have on page 16, directly after the example which is discussed just now. We have exercises here. We have exercises that are related to the topic sentence. I mean, here in the book, you are provided with the with the topic sentence, different let me say, ideas that you have. But here we have topic sentences that are coming at the beginning, topic sentences that are to be written at the end. But here, as a beginning just to write, you have to answer this exercise on page 16. First sentences to be topic. Here you have 10 topic sentences as first sentences. Okay, you have on page 16 at the completion, on page 17. You are free to choose any topic and then to develop it as as a paragraph. This is the assignment for the coming lecture, and later I'm going to write it as an assignment in the class. Clear up to this point or not? Just tell me. So what is required for the coming lecture? Just to write a narrative paragraph chosen from these sentences, topic sentences. They are 10, and you are free to choose. I'm not going to ask you just to write number 1 or number 5 or number 10. It's up to you. The idea that you feel that you can develop, write it.
You mean we should choose one sentence from the 10?
You are going to choose here. You see, the sentences that are found here, they are considered as topic sentences. I mean that the sentence that you begin your paragraph with, but you are free to choose which sentence that you are going to write and to develop. This is the idea, and this will be as I told you, as the assignment for the coming week. And as you know, that I'm going to choose by names. And unfortunately, you see, sometimes that for the previous lectures, some, students were not available. What I need you just to what? To be available just like today. Now, what I see in 94 students who are available in Google Meet. What I want you just to what? To be available all the time. Why? I mean, all lectures. Because this will be the opportunity that I give for you just to what? To check your achievement.
Okay, Doctor.
Do not leave yourself. Do not leave yourself till the to the exam. Got the point now? Because here, once you discover your mistakes, it will be better than when you go directly to the exam. This is the idea. Yes, Muhammad, you have something? Yes.
Yes, if you don't mind, can you write this homework in just
Of course,
assignment?
Definitely. I'm going to write it. I'm here just to tell you now. Just to tell you now, for those who are available in the, in the Google Meet. Got the point now? But definitely it will be written as an assignment in the classroom. But here, what I want to emphasize that the existence, the attendance of students should be more than what I have just now. Your number is more than what I have now. You are 188. What I have now is only 92. So what about the other students? What I need just to encourage other students just to be available, because you see, for the coming lecture, I'm going to choose by names.
Sorry, Doctor. The procedure of this application don't accept more than
okay. If this is a problem, I'm going to provide another link. But let other students tell me in the class that they are liking just to attend the lecture, but they are not able to. I'm going to provide another link. Got the point now? So 2 links will be applicable to have two windows for Google Meet. And those who are not able to join this link, they are having another link just to join. But this is, I believe that this is not a problem. The problem, some students, if we consider, they wouldn't like just to attend.
لا دكتور إذا تسمح لي الموضوع له علاقة بالكهرباء هميا مثلا هسه أنا هسه يلا جت الكهرباء فمو معناها إنه أنا ما
it's okay but not all lectures.
هي مو دائما
not all lectures. This is the 4th lecture that we have. It is impossible to have the same student who is absent all the time because of electricity. It is okay for 1 lecture, 2 lectures, but all lectures, what does it mean?
Excuse me.
So, yeah. Tell me
about the assignment. We have the number from 11 to 30. What about that? This last sentence.
What I want you just to consider that only the first 10 sentences, because the other things, it will be difficult for you, because the topic sentence will be at the end. Here we have the choice of how to place, how to put the topic sentence at the beginning or at the end. It is better just to have it at the beginning, and that's why the first 10 sentences, the topic sentence will be at the beginning, and it will be easier for you just to start writing your paragraph. This is the idea. This is the idea. I want just to help you. Why? I want you just to think on the way that you can do. This is the idea.
Thank you. I'm so thankful.
Okay. Any questions so far? No question? Okay. With this, we are going to finalize the lecture. And let me tell you something about the first examination. I prefer just to have the first examination after we finish the second chapter. You know why? Because here, the first chapter, we have too little information that we are going to to examine. And what you need just to write a paragraph rather than just to write a sentence. This is one. And with this, I want just to decide the time from now. So if it is possible, and if you have no examination in other materials, I prefer the exam will be on Thursday, not on the day of the lecture. What do you think? On Thursday you don't have lectures, right? But not this Thursday. I mean, it will be. It will be on the 4th or the 5th of February. I mean, for the coming month, the beginning of the coming month, but on Thursday. On Thursday, not on Sunday. What do you think of it?
بس الوقت ينتهي يا يوم تاريخ
Thursday, the 4th of February. 4th. No, 4th of February.
تمام دكتور. هو الكتروني لو ورق يعني؟
No. It will be on paper. It will be, I mean, there at college.
دكتور يوم 4 أو 5/2 يصادف خميس، يعني أنت تقصد هذا اليوم غير؟
This is the idea. This is the idea. Yes, it will be on Thursday because Thursday you don't have lectures, and that's why you are going to be free. You don't have lectures. I wouldn't like just to interfere with other materials. This is the idea. Second, I'm going to give you a good time to train, because you have to train how to write a paragraph before going to the exam. So it will be a month to train, will be better. Starting from coming week till the 4th or the 5th of February. What do you think?
تمام دكتور. على الخميس بداية الشهر الثاني متفقين.
It's okay. And of course it will be on groups. What does it mean? Of course you are having 3 sections. I know basically you are 3 sections, A, B, C, and it will be 3 times for the exam, from 9 to 10, from 10 to 11, from 11 to 12. And if it is possible to have 3 groups or 6 groups, what does it mean? It means that if it is of 3 groups, each section will examine in a specific time. Section A from 9 to 10, of section B from 10 to 11, of section C from 11 to 12. And if it is to be subdivided, it's okay. It's okay. What does it mean? The same times, each section will be subdivided into 2 groups, but in the same time. But your attendance there will be in this time. Section A from 9 to 10. Section A from 9 to 10. Section B from 10 to 11. From 11 to 12. Section C.
Excuse me.
We are going to
allowed to that.
Sorry.
يعني إذا القسم ما سمح بذلك يعني سوى.
No. They told me it's okay. They told me it's okay because on Thursday.
لا أستاذ أقصد
the department will be not busy.
أقصد على التقسيم إنه مثلا الشعب هنا مو 3 هم لازم يخلوهن 6 على مود التباعد وهيك يعني.
If it is to be 6 sections, it will not be a problem.
Yes, I have a
problem. It will not be a problem because the same time we have two classes. It will be okay. It will be okay.
You may separate every section two parts.
I know. Yeah. If it is to be allowed to have each section, I mean A, B, C, in this way, we are going to do it. And if it will be subdivided and we have 6 sections, it will be okay. No problem with these things. Later on we are going to discuss this in detail. But keep it in your mind that the time will be a month from now, approximately a month from now.
دكتور خلينا نحدد شهر ثاني همات من هسه على مود نحدد يعني خلي هاي الايام فقط
again it will be maybe on the 11th of March 11th of March, a month later. I mean the first exam the 4th of February, the second exam will be the 11th of March. You know, the end of the course will be the end of March. The end of the course will be the end of March. So we have a good time. But first of all, we have to train before we go to exam. This is the idea. I want you just to be ready, because you see now this this course is nothing just to have with the book. It's nothing just to have with the lectures. The exam is you. What does it mean is you? You are going to provide me with something. Of course, you don't know when you are going to come to exam. You don't know which topic that you are going to write. You are going to write the topic in the exam. You don't have any idea. So what does it mean? It is just like an open book exam. You don't know what is the material. This is the idea. Any question about these things? Okay. So thanks a lot for everything. And once we are going to finish the lecture, I'm going to provide you with the assignment and with the recorded lecture. Thanks so much.
دكتور بلا زحمة، أنا سجلت حضور 11:30، ما أدري ما جايني إشعار. ها هي؟
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
شكرا دكتور.
It's okay.